Hello friends. I've gotten caught in the rain on a few of my neighborhood walks. I do look ahead at the weather and I don't mind drizzle, but I try to avoid thunderstorms. I did get caught unawares one day in a thunderstorm when I was 2 miles away from my house. The thunder was distant at first and then it started to rain, and I thought that this is kind of nice. It's kind of fun to walk in the rain. But then the thunder got closer and closer, and I had to jog. And then I wondered, what else could I do? I wondered if I should stop and seek shelter under the porch of a neighbor, but I didn't know my neighbors in this area. And would they have a vicious dog, or would they call the police on this suspicious person on their porch? So in the end, I just kept going until I got home. Hello, I'm Dr. Renee Harmon. I'm the author of Surfing the Waves of Alzheimer's, a memoir about my husband Harvey and his time with younger onset Alzheimer's disease. And as you can tell by the title, Surfing the Waves, I use surfing the waves of an ocean as a metaphor for what it was like for our time with Alzheimer's disease. Another apt metaphor might be thunderstorms and seeking shelter where you can. So in May of this year, I took a trip to the North Carolina mountains, driving and hiking. And I would look at the weather and look at my hiking app to map out hikes that I wanted to do based on their length and their difficulty, and again, the weather. And I found a hike that I wanted to do to Crabtree Falls. And this was the first falls that I would see on this particular trip. I realized I had been hiking up in the high altitudes where there aren't waterfalls. So this particular hike was a loop trail, one of my favorite types of trails, and it descended down to the waterfalls, which were of course lovely. And I spent some good solitude time there, just absorbing the beauty and the silence and the roar of the falls. And not soon after I was making my way back up the back end of the loop, it started to gently rain. And it was that kind of rain that just kind of filters through the forest canopy. And I thought, oh, how pleasant. This is lovely. Well, then the bottom just dropped out. There was no thunder, but it was torrential and I was soaked. It was not pleasant. And I was still far enough away from the car and there was no shelter, there was no porches to shelter under. All I could do was just put my head down and move up that path as fast as I could. So the trail emerged into a campground and I spied a bathroom. And I thought, I can seek some shelter in this bathroom while waiting for the storm. But there was another hiker there, and I really fought with myself. Do I stop and I don't know this person, or should I just go ahead and make my way up? Well, I decided to stop in the bathroom and hunker down, weather out the storm with a stranger in the men's room. So he was a photographer as well as a hiker, and we had a very nice time together. And I really don't know why I thought it would be a good idea just to keep going, why that was an option for me, unless it was just my ego saying that you can do this by yourself, you don't need any help, right? So sometimes life does bring us storms, and we can choose to shelter with others through the storms, or we can shelter in solitude with the divine. But sometimes we just have to put our head down and forge ahead, make a path, and get the job done. The storms of Harvey's Alzheimer's disease afforded me the opportunity for all of this. So when I could, I chose to bring friends and family on board with us to offer me comfort and encouragement and support. Other times I was alone, and at other times there was nothing I could do except put my head down and get the job done. But if I was really aware in the moment, I knew that the strength I had to just put my head down came from the divine who was walking beside me.